The cargo ship Orion Drift floated silently through the black emptiness between stars, its engines humming like a tired heartbeat. Deep inside the vessel, maintenance engineer Noah Carter wiped sweat from his forehead and kicked a broken power relay across the floor. "Perfect," he muttered. Another 12-hour shift. Life aboard the Orion Drift wasn't glamorous. The ship transported mining equipment between Earth colonies scattered across the outer systems. No adventure, no excitement. Just endless repairs, recycled air, and the same metal hallways every single day. Noah had once dreamed of becoming an explorer. Instead, at 32 years old, he spent most nights elbow-deep in leaking coolant pipes. That night, however, everything changed. The ship's warning alarms suddenly screamed through the corridor. Red lights flashed overhead. Unidentified object approaching, the ship AI announced. Impact predict in T-seconds. Noah froze. Impact? With what? No answer came. The ship trembled violently. Somewhere above him, metal groaned like a wounded animal. Crew members shouted through the intercom. Noah grabbed a railing as the entire vessel lurched sideways. Then came silence, the clamant silence. The alarm stopped. The lights flickered once, twice, then returned to normal. Noah swallowed hard and activated his communicator. "Bridge, report." Only static answered. His stomach tightened. Something was wrong. Very wrong. He rushed through the corridors toward the upper deck. Doors hung twisted from their hinges. Sparks showered from damaged panels. It looked as though something massive had torn through part of the ship. When Noah finally reached Cargo Bay 3, he stopped dead in his tracks. The outer hull had been ripped open, but instead of explosive decompression, a glowing blue energy field sealed the breach from space. And standing in the center of the cargo bay was a woman. At least, she looked like a woman. She was tall, nearly 7 feet, with silver skin that shimmered beneath the emergency lights. Long white hair floated weightlessly around her shoulders, as if gravity itself obeyed different rules near her. Strange glowing symbols moved slowly across her arms, like living tattoos. Noah stared in disbelief. The woman turned toward him. Her eyes were entirely violet. "Not human, definitely not human." "You are injured," she said calmly. Her voice echoed strangely inside his head instead of through the air. Noah realized he was bleeding from his forehead. I'm fine," he stammered. The alien woman stepped closer. Every instinct screamed at him to run, but fear glued him to the floor. "You fear me," she observed. "Well, yeah." For the first time, her expression shifted slightly. "Amusement. That is reasonable." Noah noticed something attached to her wrist. A damaged metallic device sparking violently. Smoke curled from it. "You crashed into us?" he asked. "My vessel was attacked," she replied. "Your ship was merely unfortunate." "Great," Noah muttered. "Fantastic luck." The alien tilted her head. "You display humor despite danger. That's kind of humanity's thing." Before she could respond, the cargo bay doors exploded inward. 3 armored figures stormed inside. They weren't human either. Black armor covered their bodies from head to toe, and glowing rifles locked onto the silver-skinned woman instantly. "There she is," one shouted. The woman's face hardened. "They found me." Noah backed away. "Okay, nope, whatever this is, I'm officially not involved." One of the soldiers aimed directly at Noah. "Witness identified," the soldier barked. "Eliminate him." Noah's blood turned cold. "Oh, come on!" The alien woman moved faster than sight itself. A wave of blue energy burst from her hand, slamming the attackers into the wall with terrifying force. Metal crumpled around them like paper. Noah stared with his mouth open. The woman suddenly staggered. The glowing device on her wrist sparked harder now. "You're hurt," Noah said. "My neural regulator is failing," she admitted quietly. The remaining soldiers began rising again. Without thinking, Noah grabbed a steel wrench from the floor and stepped beside her. "This is the part where I make a terrible life decision, isn't it?" The alien glanced at him. "Yes." "Great." The battle erupted instantly. Energy blasts scorched the cargo bay walls. Noah ducked behind crates while the woman unleashed waves of shimmering force against the attackers. Despite her power, she was weakening rapidly. One soldier charged directly at Noah. Panicking, Noah swung the wrench wildly and missed. His hand slipped on the grease-covered handle. The wrench flew through the air, straight into the alien woman's damaged wrist device. Kerkak, the device shattered completely. Noah froze. Oh no! For one horrifying second nothing happened, then the entire cargo bay filled with blinding blue light. The alien woman screamed. Energy exploded outward in every direction, knocking the soldiers unconscious instantly. The glowing symbols on her skin spread across her entire body like rivers of light. When the brightness faded, silence returned. The woman slowly opened her eyes, but something had changed. The cold, distant expression she carried before was gone. Now she looked directly at Noah with shock. And something softer. "What did I do?" Noah whispered. The woman touched her chest as if feeling her own heartbeat for the first time. "My emotional suppressor," she said quietly. "You destroyed it. Was that bad?" For several seconds, she simply stared at him. Then she smiled. It was the most breathtaking thing Noah had ever seen. "In my species," she said slowly, "our leaders remove emotional function to improve logic and obedience. I have not truly felt emotion in over 2 centuries. Noah blinked. 200 years? I am Princess Liari of the Valoran Empire. Noah nearly laughed from pure disbelief. Of course you are. Suddenly, the ship trembled again. More enemy ships appeared outside the hull. Liari's expression darkened. They will destroy your vessel to reach me. Can't you stop them? Not alone. Noah looked around nervously. Okay, small issue. I'm just a mechanic. Liaris stepped closer. You are also the first person in centuries who treated me as more than a weapon. Noah didn't know what to say to that. For the first time in years, his boring, meaningless life suddenly felt important. Liari extended her glowing hand toward him. Help me save your people. Noah stared at her hand for a long moment, then he took it. The next hour became chaos. Noah guided Liari through the damaged ship while restoring emergency systems. Together, they rerouted power to the engines and activated defensive weapons the crew had forgotten even existed. Meanwhile, Liari fought like a living star. Every movement unleashed impossible energy. Enemy boarding parties never stood a chance. At one point, Noah found himself laughing hysterically while sprinting through burning corridors beside an alien princess. "This is insane," he shouted. "You are adapting remarkably well," Liari replied calmly, while throwing an armored soldier through a wall. Eventually, they reached the bridge. The captain and surviving crew stared in disbelief as Liari connected herself directly into the ship's systems. "I can disable the enemy fleet," she explained, "but only briefly." "That's enough," Noah said. The Orion drift surged forward. Using Liari's guidance, they navigated through the enemy blockade, while the alien fleet temporarily lost power. Seconds later, the ship jumped into hyperspace. Save. The bridge erupted into cheers. Oa collapsed into a chair, exhausted beyond words. Liari stood silently beside him, watching the stars stretch across the viewscreen. "So," Noah said between breaths, "what happens now?" Liari looked at him carefully. "My empire will continue hunting me. After experiencing emotion again, I cannot return." "That sounds bad." "It is." For a moment sadness crossed her face, then Noah shrugged. "Well, Earth has terrible coffee and questionable music, but we're surprisingly good at helping fugitives." Liari laughed softly. The sound was warm, human, and somehow, hearing it changed something inside Noah too. Weeks later, after repairs were complete, Noah stood alone in the observation deck, watching a distant nebula glow across space. Footsteps approached behind him. Liari. She no longer wore royal armor. Instead, she dressed simply like any crew member aboard the ship. "You stayed," Noah said. She nodded. "I wish to understand this feeling humans call freedom." Noah smiled faintly. And Liari stepped beside him, her violet eyes reflecting the stars. "I believe," she said softly, My life truly began the moment your hand slipped. For the first time in years, Noah Carter finally felt like he was exactly where he belonged, not repairing broken machines, but standing beside someone who had crossed an entire galaxy, only to discover what it meant to feel alive.